In the music world, Black R&B legends have long shone as luminous architects of emotion and sound. Their velvet vocals, timeless melodies, and soul-stirring performances didn't just top charts, they carved pathways for entire generations and etched their names into cultural memory. Each note carried history, resilience, and creative fire, transforming stages into sanctuaries and songs into lifelong companions for millions around the globe. Yet beyond the spotlight's glow and the thunder of applause lies a quieter narrative rarely explored. Behind the platinum records and dazzling premieres were deeply human journeys, stories marked by inner conflicts, difficult crossroads, and the weight of immense expectation. Some faced turbulent chapters shaped by personal struggles, public scrutiny, and moments of controversy that tested their strength and legacy. It is within this contrast, brilliance intertwined with vulnerability, that we discover a more complete portrait, not just icons, but individuals navigating the complex rhythm of fame, consequence, and redemption. These 18 legendary R&B artists once stood at the summit, admired, celebrated, and encircled by the dazzling aura of success. Their voices echoed across airwaves, their influence shaping culture in ways that still ripple through time. For a moment, it seemed as though the spotlight would never dim. But history often reminds us that rapid ascent can carry invisible pressure, and even the brightest constellations must navigate gravity. Behind the acclaim were human stories marked by fragile crossroads, chapters of personal turbulence, difficult decisions, and moments that tested their inner foundations. Challenges related to dependency, emotional strain, and public controversy did more than interrupt their careers. They reshaped the direction of their lives in profound and lasting ways. If their journeys resonate with you, share a 1 below. If you see a different perspective, comment 0. And be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because these stories reach far beyond melodies and fame. They are reflections of an era, testaments to resilience, and echoes of voices that never truly disappeared, only waiting for history to listen again. Major Lance emerged in the 1960s as one of the brightest voices in Chicago soul. Born in Chicago in 1939, he quickly captured national attention with upbeat, dance-driven hits like The Monkey Time and His smooth tenor, paired with vibrant arrangements, made his records irresistible on radio and in dance halls alike. Blending rhythm and blues with early soul stylings, Lance helped define the Chicago sound of the era. His music carried both polish and playful charm, earning him a loyal fan base and respect among fellow musicians. On stage, his energy was magnetic, confident, yet approachable, a performer who understood how to move both hearts and feet. For a time, he stood among the most promising stars of the genre. Yet like many artists navigating the volatile music industry of the 1960s and beyond, his ascent came with obstacles that would test both his resilience and his career longevity. As the spotlight dimmed, Major Lance faced challenges that extended far beyond declining chart positions. The rapid evolution of popular music in the 1970s, shifting tastes, new production styles, and changing industry priorities made it increasingly difficult for many early soul artists to maintain the momentum they once enjoyed. For Lance, whose sound was so closely tied to a defining era of Chicago soul, adaptation proved especially difficult. With fewer mainstream opportunities, the distance between his past acclaim and present reality grew wider. Accounts from those familiar with his later years describe periods of isolation and emotional strain as he grappled with the loss of visibility and the uncertainty of his place in a changing industry. The applause that once affirmed his identity grew quieter, and the absence of that affirmation can weigh heavily on any performer. Yet even as public attention faded, his earlier contributions did not disappear. Songs like The Monkey Time continued to echo on oldies stations and dance floors, preserving his imprint on soul history. Major Lance's later struggles reflect a broader truth about fame's fragility, that the industry can shift quickly, leaving artists to navigate reinvention, resilience, and self-worth beyond the stage lights that once defined them. By the mid-1980s, Major Lance was far removed from the vibrant stages that once defined his life. As opportunities dwindled, reports described him living modestly and increasingly withdrawn, a stark contrast to the energetic performer who had once topped the charts. The distance between past acclaim and present circumstances grew more visible, underscoring how quickly public recognition can fade in a shifting industry. Stories from those close to him suggested periods of deep isolation and emotional strain. Without the steady rhythm of touring and recording, the silence became heavier. The trappings of fame had disappeared, leaving him to confront a more private and difficult reality. Family members later recalled signs of mental and emotional decline, describing moments when he seemed detached and overwhelmed. His later years reflect a sobering truth about the entertainment world. Success can be dazzling but fragile, and when the spotlight fades, the internal battles can become more pronounced. Major Lance's story remains both a celebration of his soulful legacy and a reminder of the importance of support and compassion beyond the applause. Howard Tate possessed a voice often described as one of the most emotionally resonant in R&B. Born in 1,939 inches, Macon, Georgia, he blended gospel roots with blues-infused soul, delivering performances that felt both intimate and explosive. His ability to shift from quiet vulnerability to soaring intensity set him apart in the crowded musical landscape of the 1960s. Songs like Get It While You Can and Ain't Nobody Home showcased his dynamic range and interpretive depth. These recordings not only earned chart success, but also cemented his reputation among peers as a vocalist of rare expressive power. Though sometimes underappreciated in mainstream retrospectives, Tate's influence rippled outward through artists who admired his phrasing and emotional honesty. His work remains a testament to the era when soul music was defined not just by melody, but by the raw truth carried in a single voice. In his later years, Howard Tate experienced a meaningful resurgence. In his 50s and beyond, he was given renewed opportunities to record and tour, reintroducing his voice to audiences who had long admired his earlier work. He embraced the second chapter with professionalism and gratitude, releasing new material that reflected maturity and lived experience. Yet listeners often sensed a deeper emotional current beneath the performances. The fiery urgency of his youth had evolved into something more reflective, still soulful, still technically commanding, but shaded with introspection. His later recordings carried weight, as though shaped by the hardships and personal trials he had endured over the years. When he passed away in 2011, he left behind more than a catalog of songs. He left a body of work that traced the arc of resilience. From gospel roots to soul stardom and eventual rediscovery, Howard Tate's legacy remains defined by emotional authenticity, proof that even when circumstances change, a truly expressive voice can endure. In 1976, Howard Tate experienced a devastating personal loss when his daughter died in a car accident. The tragedy profoundly affected him, leaving an emotional imprint that reshaped both his private life and artistic journey. Friends and collaborators later reflected on how the grief weighed heavily on him, altering his sense of direction and dimming the creative momentum that had once felt so natural. The loss introduced a deeper sorrow into his performances. While his voice remained powerful and technically masterful, listeners could sense a shift of gravity beneath the phrasing, a vulnerability that seemed drawn from lived pain. The tragedy did not erase his talent. It transformed the emotional landscape from which that talent flowed. In the years that followed, Tate faced periods of personal struggle, navigating grief while attempting to hold on to his identity as an artist. His legacy today carries both the brilliance of his early soul recordings and the reflective depth that emerged after loss. Through heartbreak and endurance, his music became not only an expression of artistry, but a testament to resilience in the face of profound sorrow. Howard Tate was often mentioned alongside icons such as Otis Redding and Sam Cooke, a comparison that speaks volumes about the caliber of his voice. His delivery carried a rare blend of gospel intensity and blues-soaked vulnerability, allowing him to move effortlessly between quiet confession and soaring emotional release. In an era crowded with extraordinary talent, Tate distinguished himself through nuance. There was a lived-in texture to his phrasing, a sense that each lyric had been deeply felt before it was sung. That authenticity resonated with audiences and positioned him among the most promising soul artists of the 1960s. Yet his brilliance unfolded alongside personal hardship. Tragedy, instability, and internal battles cast long shadows over his career. While his recordings radiated conviction and depth, his private life reflected the weight of struggles that were difficult to outrun. In the end, Howard Tate's legacy is defined not only by vocal greatness, but by the emotional honesty that emerged from both triumph and turmoil, a reminder that soul music, at its most powerful, often grows from the tension between light and shadow. After the devastating loss of his daughter, Howard Tate gradually withdrew from the spotlight, stepping away from the music industry that had once defined him. As the years passed, speculation grew about his whereabouts. Some believed he had intentionally disappeared. Others imagined he was living quietly, far removed from fame. Eventually, it emerged that Tate had endured a period of deep personal hardship. Accounts later revealed that he lived in near anonymity for years, at times facing homelessness and taking on small jobs while wrestling with grief and substance dependence. The distance between his earlier acclaim and his private reality became a stark reflection of how fragile success can be. Yet even during those difficult chapters, his connection to music never vanished. In the 1990s, his story took a remarkable turn when he was rediscovered by industry figures who recognized that his voice still carried the same emotional power. His return to recording and performing marked a quiet renaissance, proof that even after years in obscurity, true artistry can endure and find its way back to the stage. Howard Tate's life reads like a ballad of brilliance intertwined with heartbreak. Gifted with a voice capable of trembling vulnerability and thunderous conviction, he poured lived experience into every lyric. When grief entered his world, it did not silence him, it reshaped the emotional texture of his music. What makes Tate's legacy enduring is not simply technical mastery, but the honesty embedded in his performances. His songs carry the weight of sorrow without surrendering to it, offering listeners a space to process their own losses. In that sense, his artistry became both confession and comfort, proof that pain, when transformed through music, can become a bridge rather than a barrier. In an industry that often celebrates glamour while overlooking private struggle, Tate's journey stands as a sober reflection. Fame can amplify applause, but it cannot erase emotional scars. His story reminds us that behind every powerful voice is a human life marked by triumph, fragility, and resilience, and that the deepest soul music is often born from the courage to sing through sorrow. Jamie Foxx, born Eric Marlon Bishop on the 13th of December 1967 in Terrell, Texas, stands as one of the most versatile entertainers of his era. Seamlessly moving between comedy, music, and film, he has built a career defined by range and reinvention. Foxx first gained national recognition through sketch comedy before transitioning into dramatic roles that showcased his emotional intensity. His portrayal of Ray Charles in Ray earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, solidifying his place among Hollywood's elite performers. Beyond acting, he has also achieved success in music, earning Grammy recognition for his soulful vocal performances and collaborations. What distinguishes Foxx is not only his talent, but his adaptability, the ability to command a stand-up stage, deliver a dramatic monologue, and headline a chart-topping track with equal confidence. Over decades in the spotlight, he has proven that true artistry lies in versatility, discipline, and the courage to evolve across creative worlds. Jamie Foxx's ascent was built on persistence rather than instant fame. Long before award stages and blockbuster premieres, he was refining his craft in comedy clubs, learning timing, presence, and the art of reading a room. Those early years shaped the performer the world would later see, sharp, fearless, and deeply connected to his audience. His transformative portrayal of Ray Charles in Ray revealed not just technical skill, but emotional immersion. Foxx didn't simply imitate, he internalized. The performance became a testament to his dedication, discipline, and ability to channel lived experience into art. What makes his journey compelling is the through line of authenticity. Challenges became catalysts rather than barriers. Comedy, music, and drama all became languages through which he expressed resilience and empathy. His career reflects more than achievement, it illustrates transformation, showing how performance can serve as a bridge between personal struggle and shared human connection. Behind the accolades and red carpets, Jamie Foxx's journey is rooted in quiet resilience. Raised primarily by his grandparents in Terrell, Texas, within a modest Baptist household, he grew up surrounded by structure, faith, and community values. The church became more than a place of worship. It was where he first discovered rhythm, voice, and the emotional power of performance. Playing piano in church and absorbing the cadence of sermons taught him discipline and storytelling at an early age. Those formative lessons shaped the foundation of his artistic identity. Timing learned from music, conviction drawn from faith, and empathy cultivated through lived experience. Long before awards and global recognition, Foxx developed the inner tools that would sustain him: humility, work ethic, and belief. His life story reflects how strong roots can anchor extraordinary ambition, proving that the brightest careers are often built on the quiet strength of humble beginnings. From an early age, Jamie Foxx showed signs of extraordinary promise. By 5, he was already playing piano in church, a gift carefully nurtured by his grandmother, who recognized both his discipline and his natural musical ear. Those early performances were more than childhood moments. They were the first echoes of a career built on rhythm, emotion, and presence. Throughout his school years, Foxx stood out not only academically but across multiple arenas. As a high school quarterback, he demonstrated leadership and focus, earning praise for both athletic ability and artistic talent. Football was once a serious dream, and for a time it seemed like his path forward. Yet music remained the constant thread. Whether on the field or behind the piano, creativity followed him. That blend of athletic confidence, academic drive, and musical devotion would later shape the multifaceted performer. The world came to know proof that versatility is often rooted in early discipline and a foundation built long before fame arrives. Jamie Foxx earned a scholarship to United States International University in San Diego, where he studied classical music and composition training that sharpened his technical discipline and deepened his understanding of structure and performance. At that stage, music appeared to be his primary trajectory, yet fate intervened through comedy. Encouraged by friends, he stepped onto the stage at a local open mic night, adopting the gender-neutral name Jamie Foxx to increase his chances of being called up to perform. What began as a bold experiment quickly revealed a different dimension of his talent. His quick timing, expressive delivery, and natural stage presence set him apart almost immediately. That leap led to a breakthrough opportunity on the influential 1990s sketch series In Living Color. There, Foxx created a range of memorable characters, proving he could command attention in front of a national audience. The experience marked a turning point, transforming a classically trained musician into a multifaceted entertainer whose versatility would define the decades to come. The Jamie Foxx Show became a defining platform for Jamie Foxx in the late 1990s. The sitcom not only strengthened his visibility in black television, but also showcased his range, blending music, comedy, and emotional nuance. The success of the series gave him both the industry credibility and personal confidence to transition into more dramatic roles. In 2004, Foxx's film career reached a pivotal moment. In Collateral, he portrayed a working-class taxi driver caught in a tense overnight ordeal opposite Tom Cruise. The performance revealed a restrained intensity that surprised critics and audiences alike. His portrayal earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, signaling that he was no longer just a comedic talent, he was a formidable dramatic presence. That year marked a transformation, elevating Foxx from sitcom star to serious actor and setting the stage for even greater achievements in Hollywood. Jamie Foxx expanded his television impact with The Jamie Foxx Show, which aired from 1996 to 2001. As both co-creator and lead actor, Fox infused the series with elements drawn from his own life, blending comedy, music, and heartfelt storytelling into a project that felt distinctly personal. The sitcom allowed audiences to see dimensions of his artistry that extended beyond sketch comedy. Viewers watched him sing, perform at the piano, and navigate emotional storylines alongside humor. It became a platform where his musical training and comedic timing intersected naturally, revealing the full spectrum of his talent. More than just a popular show, it served as a creative bridge, positioning Fox not only as a comedian, but as a multifaceted performer capable of crossing genres. That visibility laid the groundwork for his seamless transition into dramatic film roles and award-winning performances in the years that followed. Jamie Foxx's musical path evolved in parallel with his film career, proving his versatility was no coincidence. His 2005 album Unpredictable debuted at No. 2 on the Billboard 200 and eventually achieved double platinum status, signaling that he was more than a crossover novelty. The project showcased polished R&B production and confident vocals, establishing him as a credible recording artist in his own right. Fox collaborated with influential names such as Kanye West, T-Pain, and Ne-Yo, further solidifying his place within contemporary R&B and hip-hop circles. These partnerships highlighted not only his vocal ability but also his adaptability across styles. What ultimately distinguishes Fox is authenticity, whether delivering razor-sharp impressions, portraying emotionally complex characters on screen, or layering smooth harmonies in a studio session. He performs with conviction. His rare ability to balance vulnerability with charisma allows him to transcend categories, connecting with audiences across genres, cultures, and generations. After expanding his dramatic range, Jamie Foxx took on increasingly complex roles. In Redemption, the Stan Tookie Williams story, he portrayed the evolution of a controversial figure seeking redemption, a performance that underscored his emotional restraint and intensity. The role demonstrated that Fox could carry layered, socially reflective narratives with gravity and nuance. However, it was Ray that cemented his place in cinematic history. Portraying the legendary Ray Charles, Fox delivered a transformation so immersive it blurred the line between actor and subject. To authentically represent Charles's blindness, he wore specially designed prosthetic lenses during filming, limiting his vision for extended periods to internalize the physical reality of the musician's world. The dedication paid off. His performance captured not only Charles's musical genius, but also his vulnerabilities and contradictions. The role earned Fox the Academy Award for Best Actor, defining a pivotal moment in his career and solidifying his reputation as a performer capable of extraordinary depth and commitment. Jamie Foxx's transformative role in Ray earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, making him only the second black actor to receive that honor at the time. The win marked a historic milestone and firmly established him as one of Hollywood's leading talents. Following this breakthrough, Fox became a dominant presence across genres. In Dreamgirls, he portrayed a complex music executive navigating ambition and loyalty. In The Soloist, he delivered a sensitive performance rooted in vulnerability and nuance. He later explored darker territory in Law-Abiding Citizen and stepped into a bold, stylized Western role in Django Unchained. What defines Fox's post-Oscar era is range. He moves fluidly between comedy, musical storytelling, psychological drama, and action, rarely confined to one identity. That adaptability, paired with emotional authenticity, has allowed him to remain relevant and respected across decades in both film and music. Behind the awards and red carpets, Jamie Foxx's journey reflects persistence more than overnight success. Long before global recognition, there were years of refinement, rejection, and reinvention. The applause came later, the discipline came first. His path reminds us that talent alone is rarely enough. It takes resilience to evolve, humility to learn, and belief to keep moving forward when progress feels invisible. Every breakthrough he experienced was built on foundations laid during uncertain seasons. Success, for Fox and for many others, is less about a single defining moment and more about endurance, choosing to continue when doubt whispers louder than confidence. Now it's your turn. What challenge shaped you the most on your own journey? The obstacle that tested your patience, your courage, or your faith? Share your perspective below. Type 1 if you relate to stories of perseverance, or 0 if you see it differently. And stay tuned for more stories that explore the human side behind legendary names where struggle and strength often walk side by side.